For a long time, it felt isolating to be pro-life. If you listen to some in the culture, it's easy to think that everyone disagrees with our mission. But this is fake news. Okay, now, if anybody's heard me speak lately, I do not let you have to be cheering, okay? Let's get going. We're happy to be here tonight, right? There we go. Okay, this is fake news because poll after poll, Americans are pro-life and they want restrictions on abortion on demand. Where once pro-lifers were pariahs, we are now partners. Yes. Last week I was on a flight coming back from DC, and I was sitting next to a millennial guy from Vegas, and we got started talking. We were having a great conversation about, I hate to say this, Herb, UNR versus UNLV and how much better UNR is. Go Wolfpack. Anyway, so we got to that point in the conversation that can be a little bit awkward, and that is, what do I do for a living? You know, it's always so hard to decide, but 10 years ago, my response would have stopped the conversation dead. He would have put in his earplugs and he would have turned the other way. But not that night. He high-fived me. And we spent the next 2 hours talking about how to change the culture here in Nevada and where he could find good resources. And then we ended our conversation the way I have with many of you here tonight. I asked him to run for office. You've all been hit up at some point, I know. This is the type of conversation I have now. People are pro-life, and they are longing for community with other pro-lifers, which brings me to my next story. Last month, I was at a statewide meeting with elected officials, candidates, policymakers, and activists. And this was a group that just 16 years ago called pro-lifers, people like you and me, speed bumps. Speed bumps because in their minds, we were the impediment to winning elections. It wasn't that way. In fact, that night, life got a standing ovation. And it was the most amazing thing. People were clapping, and then what was even more incredible is candidates who were there got up right after me, and every last one of them made the right to life issues a major plank in their speeches. And they talked specifically about how they were going to partner with Nevada Right to Life to implement our plan to protect the unborn, to protect the medically vulnerable, and to protect the elderly. It was exhilarating. But I have to say, my next story is not quite so happy because a couple of months ago, I got a call from a very, very upset father. He was in tears. And he said his high school junior had gone from a happy, accomplished student athlete to flunking classes and other troubling behaviors. Desperate and suspecting drug abuse, he and his wife went into her room, opened up her diary, and found out she'd had an abortion a couple months before. They had no idea. I mean, as a mother, I can't imagine that. This kid, 16 years old, was forced to deal with a choice no child should ever make alone. He cried and he asked me how he could hold the school and the abortionist responsible for irreparably harming his child, driving a wedge into his family, and killing his grandchild. But here's the problem. In Nevada, a junior in high school needs consent to get a tattoo, her ears pierced, a Tylenol at school, her teeth cleaned, even a library card. Yet this same girl can get an abortion without either of her parents, none of her parents knowing, even knowing, not consenting, but not knowing. In fact, if a girl is biologically capable in the state of Nevada, if she's biologically capable of getting pregnant, she's legally able to do it alone, even at 8 or 9. I mean, think about that. Time and again, we have asked the legislature to protect our girls by enacting parental notification for underage girls seeking an abortion, and time and again, they've failed. Sometimes it's because there aren't the numbers, and oftentimes it's because there's a lack of political will. But thankfully, in Nevada, voters can actually pass laws through a statutory initiative process. That process starts now. I am so excited to announce that yesterday, Nevada Right to Life filed the Parental Notification Statutory Initiative. Parental notification is common sense, and the good news is 70% of Nevadans support it. Our initiative will do two things. First of all, it requires one parent to be notified when an underage girl seeks an abortion. Second, it puts in safeguards for those kids who don't have a competent or a loving guardian at home. A judge can review and put eyes on them to protect them against sex trafficking or any other kinds of horrible crimes that can happen against children. So here's what we have to do to make this law. We have to gather about 100,000 signatures between now and the middle of November. Once we do this, it forces the next legislature to deal with this issue, finally. If they don't, it gets sent back to us, the people, and we will finally have a vote on parental notification in the state of Nevada. Now, obviously, Planned Parenthood and the left are going to fight us tooth and nail every step of the way. But like I said, 7 in 10 Nevadans like you and me, we're in favor of this. But Planned Parenthood can't afford the loss in revenue from a customer base that can't consent to any other medical procedure but this one. You know, I'm sure that probably tattoo parlors wish they had the same loophole, don't you think? Last year, we had challenges in the legislature from the governor right down to the Assembly and the state Senate. But this plan will work around those speed bumps. If the legislature is not going to work to save babies and protect our girls, we the people will. When we succeed, parents can be parents, and more importantly, kids can be kids. If we don't act, though, we are going to continue to be just like California and New York, not protecting our girls. We will also miss a huge, huge opportunity to identify and rally pro-life voters across the state to vote for life up and down the ballot. And the reason why, you got to think about this. The reason why Planned Parenthood is so scared is because we've had 4 years of winning. The country is becoming more pro-life. The Supreme Court is becoming more pro-life. And now it is time for Nevada to become more pro-life. Now, sometime in the not too distant future, we will celebrate this night as the night that Nevada decided to protect our girls. When a group of people committed to life pledged to stand with parents against secret abortions. But it will take money for attorneys to fight those who will try to block our efforts, for petition materials, for training volunteers, for getting signatures, and then next year for running a ballot initiative. And to do that, we're going to have to raise about $1 million, anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million. This can't happen without you. We are looking, and we know we will find at least 200 people in the state of Nevada that can step up to the plate and help us. We have, our organization has about 100 people who give money between $250 and $20,000. And we need to grow that to another 100 people. I first got started with this movement, in the pro-life movement, because my daughter was 4 years old, and I found out this simple fact that she could get an abortion when she's older without me. She's now 21, and I want to make sure that my granddaughters someday aren't faced with this same problem. So now if you would turn your attention to the video, and thank you very much.